All right, hopefully this is all working nice right now. Maybe someone in chat can tell me real fast. Awesome. Cool. So what we're going to try to do here is I'm going to live stream the design of my Halloween one-shot. Every year I do a Halloween one-shot adventure, and it's my favorite game that I play all year. I've done a bunch of them. I did Return of the Black Spider, where members of the Thieves Guild betrayed each other over a book that made them grow insane over the course of the adventure. I did Castle Ravenloft last year. I did a Call of Cthulhu style adventure the year before. The real common theme in all of them is betrayal. Over the course of the adventure, one party member turns against the others, and it ends in a disaster. So I'm going to try to do an adventure. I have an idea in my head, and we're going to try to work out how this is going to work. So the idea that I have in my head is I want to do sort of a mixture between a false Hydra and an Ooblex. So I want some sort of monster that comes and destroys people. And when it kills them or it consumes them, people forget that it was ever there. So this creature is going to come out of mirrors, out of a parallel universe there where the boundary is mirrors or looking glasses. It's going to come out and kill townsfolk. And when it kills or consumes that townsfolk, everyone's memory of it vanishes. They have no idea it was there. It still leaves evidence behind, like their backpack will still be there, their clothes will still be on the floor, but don't have a memory of this person. And then eventually when the heroes go through the mirror and find this monster, what they're really going to find is things that look like the memories of these people. They're going to see the face of... somebody with the face that was similar to a drawing that they saw. They're going to see the baker's son, and they're going to fight against this person. But when they do some damage to it, it's going to pop apart and just be an ooze. And they go deeper inside, they find like the Ooblex ooze monster that's consuming all these memories. And when they destroy the ooze that's impersonating it, basically this ooze monster is impersonating all these memories with its ooze form. When they destroy those impersonations, the memory is forever erased. So that's going to be that is going to be my idea for the adventure. So let's see how this actually pans out. Okay. So, a dark and stormy night. When we first meet our heroes, so in order to get this adventure to work, we're going to have a couple of story beats. We are going to have them arrive in town. / wake up in town. And I think I like that explanation a bit better. That they wake up having already been there, so they're already clued into what is happening, right? That people are finding evidence of a whole bunch of strangers in their midst, but they never see anybody. Okay, well, there we go. Their midst. But no person is ever seen. Okay, so I saw something somewhere when I was reading about what a false Hydra is, that there's an encounter that I really, really liked. I wish I could remember the person who exactly. If I ever find it, maybe I'll link it in the video description. But right now, hold on, actually, let's try to get some music going. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All right, that music should be about okay volume, I'm hoping. Okay, so when they arrive / wake up in this town, what they find is they're going to find... I'm going to give them a bit of backstory, right? So the players are going to have some backstory, and two of them are going to be known as the Holy Duo. That's what they call themselves in their head. They know they've always been on a bunch of adventures together. Buds. But in their room, in their tavern room, when they go back up on investigator, when they wake up from bed, they're going to find a backpack that has parchment called, with a doodle, called the Holy Trio. It shows 3 of them. 2 players and an unknown person. Cool. All right, so that's gonna be their first clue that something's going on. So a good rule for a mystery is we need to find 3 different ways to clue the players into something that's not right. And we need something that kicks them off on this adventure. We need them to figure out there's somewhere to go or have the adventure come after them. In fact, for a one-shot, that's probably the best idea because I don't want to have people sitting around saying, okay, well, what do we do next? Especially because I think for this, I'm going to have some new players. I think I'm going to have 2, maybe even 3 new people who's never played D&D before. This is going to be their first intro to the game. So I wanted to have a lot of action. I don't want people sitting around wondering, oh, what to do next. So the adventure somehow has to come after them. There could be a fire somewhere, right? Okay, that's awesome. So, boom, that is something they have to deal with right away. They have to go see it. They have to go check it out. Okay, so where is this? Is that a... All right, maybe fire is not the best idea. Maybe if there could be a fire at a library or at City Hall. Library at City Hall. Okay, because there would be records there. And why are the records important? Records of people living in the city that are no longer there. Okay. So let's back up a little bit here, right? So in the tavern, they're staying. So remember, I don't like the idea of it coming out of the ground. There's this big underground complex. Like I can see that being like a cool adventure, but I want to do something a little bit creepier. And for me, the idea of like being able to touch a mirror and somehow go through it and get trapped on the other side has always been like really creepy, right? And so that's what I want to have happen. Like the essence of these people is getting trapped on the other side of this mirror universe. So would they be able to draw the location where they had the pictograph made? Yeah, I'm not really sure I get what you're going for there. Maybe the parchment was made with some minor magic, make it more a monogram could have. Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah. In fact, in the back of my head, I would rather have this be a more Victorian style adventure anyway, not quite medieval. So yeah, maybe there's photographs too. Yeah, awesome, photo evidence. Oh, you're talking about the sketch where they found the Holy Trio. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Okay. So this is actually going to be our second encounter right here. So let's go ahead and change this to something else. I think I used Della Rospera. Yep. Boom. Awesome. Okay. But yeah, I like the idea of having photo evidence because that establishes more Victorian. The other thing I was going to do before I got sidetracked, up here, the tavern where they're staying, there's going to be a big mirror above the bar. That's where the monster got in. That's where it came into the tavern, got upstairs, and nabbed their other companion they now have no memory of. Okay. So why was the fire set? I guess someone went crazy. They kept, why were they going crazy? This person was going crazy because they kept finding things in their home, in their little apartment. Okay, who does this dude look like? He looks like freaking Watson. There we go. That's an easy person to describe, and that will set the idea of, again, this Victorian horror. See what's going on. Yeah, that's oh, they could start intruding on the normal. That'd be freaking weird. Yeah, oh man. I guess the end point was they fight the monster, and then they have to try to escape back to the real world. But yeah, I like the idea that they would escape early. They started having this desire to eat other things. That's a really creepy idea. To become sort of like mirrors are stealing people's souls, or being in the mirror world makes you want to steal another person's soul. That's a kind of a creepy idea. Oh, okay. Okay, so investigate apartment. So this is one thing they can do after here, right? What's something else they might want to do? Okay. So they also want to look around the library, maybe. Well, we know they had the photo evidence there. Records. Okay, so what else do they want to do if they saw this on the file? There has to be like a third location in this village they might want to go investigate. Or again, I want to have something happen where either it's really clear where they need to go next, or it needs to be really clear where they need to go next, or something again needs to come after them. Okay. So let's see here. A book elemental. Yeah, like in the Skyrim expansion, when you're inside the black books and things come after you. They are corrupted. They're corrupted by whatever evil presence that was. By evil. Okay. So eventually, I still need to write something in the second act here. I'm going to come back to this later. It's kind of important, though. Right? And then the end is when they're in the mirror world, right? So Act 3. In the mirror. The dark side of the mirror, right? Okay. Because this is probably the easiest bit to make, right? That we know they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to fight some things before they get to the final boss here. And so maybe if we have some idea of who the people that they're fighting are, we'll get some clues about what to do in Act 2. All right, hold on. So what are some things that we want here? Mermaid Man. Okay, so we want their companion. We want that person to come second, though. We want that to be kind of a shock, right? We want them to have a commoner-looking person. But maybe not just one. Have them fight a mob. Is this still looking okay on screen? Awesome. Yeah, so 1 second real fast here. Okay. To have a mob of commoners because all these people that were in the tavern eventually got sucked in one by one, right? Okay, you know what? I just had an idea here, right? Okay. So maybe something that could happen in Act 2 is they see dark shadows moving in the mirror. Right? So they can sort of walk up to the glass. They see it, feel it flexing. So they can like push on this glass and see that it moves. So we have to have a person who can give information. An old professor. Slash a Van Helsing. All right? Somebody who can tell them what sort of things to expect and maybe whatever ritual they need to get into the dark world. So, oh, great question. What this mirror world's going to look like? It's going to look like hell, right? Because, you know, I just got this right here. So I'm going to have some fun with it, right? There's all sorts of fun demonic presences in there. And that's going to be the shadowed version of these people. Okay. Okay, so maybe Van Helsing approaches them. When they're investigating sometime. Investigating. So sometime in the middle of their investigation, this professor figure is going to approach them. Say, hey, I heard you talking about something, something, something. That's always a good way to get something in there. Okay. So anyway, back to Act 3. Sucked into the tavern one by one. So the first thing they're going to fight inside this mirror world is this mob of commoners. I think that is pretty cool, right? And when they're bloodied... Why does my font keep switching back? They revert to being oozes. Oozes. How do you spell oozes? Oozes. Sure. I have this great Oblex mini that I made way back when I first started making videos. I made one. And I've never gotten to actually use it. But so it's just been sitting there on my shelf. And this will be a great opportunity to use all the little tiny miniature Oblexes too. So they're going to fight all these NPCs. Once they pop them, they're going to turn into this blob of jelly. And they're going to be like, what the is going on? So that's going to be pretty cool, I think. All right. And so at the end, boss is going to be, of course, the Oblex. But we need something in between there. We need some sort of other challenge, a puzzle or a trap, or some sort of thinking setback. Yeah, it could look. Hell would look different. Could look different to each and every person, but you know, only one DM. I don't want to spend the whole time narrating what each individual's person's tortures are. Okay, but I need something that is between them and the boss once they fight all these commoners. So here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to look through the Avernus book. I'm going to find like one environmental challenge. Mental challenge. Because I'm sure that there is something, I'm sure there's something in that book that depicts someone trying to cross like a chasm in hell or navigate like the river Styx or something really dark like that. So I'm sure that there is one in there. All right. Okay. And then we have the boss monster, which is the Ublex. And it has the missing member of the Holy Trio. The other people that are fighting up here, the mob, which is commoners, this one, we have an adventure with class levels and spells and all that good stuff. I have a Chain Devil's Chamber. There we go. All right, I want to do... Oh, here's one. How about the Apathy Trap? Like, so I know none of my players, especially because these are a bunch of new people, they've never played the Amber Temple, right? So spoilers for Curse of Strahd ahead. But inside the Amber Temple there's this death trap. There is a statue at the very far end of a niche in the temple. And it has this sympathy charm on it, right? It just makes you want to stay next to it forever and ever and ever. And so eventually people wander down the hallway and they get trapped by the statue and they just starve to death because they can't walk away because they're attracted to it so strongly. So that's a really messed up thing, I think. And that might be a good thing right there. Sympathy trap. Something like that. Okay, but when we put a death trap in, I have to put something else. So we have to tip this off, right? With skeletons clutching their stomach in pain. Reaching towards statue. They're reaching towards the statue, while at the same time, like they're trying to pull themselves away. That's going to be like a DC 15 investigation check. Okay, so you can warn them about that in the real world. Okay. So there's going to be this death trap of a statue in the mirror world. In the real world, there has to be something next to it, right? Some sort of analog. It's going to be an analog of a Lux statue. Yeah. So in the real world, when you touch the statue, you get lucky for a little bit, and then you want to go away. But this one, you get trapped there forever. Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, that we want to tip them off that it's dangerous somehow. And yeah, at the same time, you're right, we want to put something in where the curious person gets rewarded, right? Because you don't want to just say, hey, investigating everything and this adventure will get you screwed. So we have to have some sort of bonus somewhere else. So another bonus we can put in. Somewhere in Act 2. Or somewhere in the mirror world, there has to be something that can help them out, right? So inside the Devil's Chamber, maybe they find, I don't know, an anti-charm effect. They found a file of restoration. Okay, cool. Cool, and then we have our boss monster. And they also have some commoners, right? Okay, so to end this, okay, because we have to get them back to town so that they understand that those memories are missing forever, right? That no one's ever going to remember who those people are. Even though when the commoners die, we didn't put it up here. When the commoners die, memories fade. But it's not going to be not just them, right? Like memories of them doing things with people, right? Like dancing together with their spouse. Okay, so when you absolutely kill this thing, the ooze is going to disappear, and then out of it, like, those ghostly figures are going to rise up. Like, it's going to be like that thing in Harry Potter, right? Just the memories are getting, like, sucked right out of it and disappearing forever. Cool. So at the very end, they have to go back to town. Town, find the memories are gone forever. Okay. Because they're going to meet the wife of the dude in the memory. Memories are gone forever. All right, cool. So up here, they're going to see somebody with person in town. And they go there. So now here's the trick, right? So we have to keep the tension up between when they fight this boss monster and then the real end of the story, right? So between here, we're going to do like a little skills challenge thing. To escape the collapsing mirror world. Escape from hell. Okay, so they beat the monster, boom, and then it's like the end of Ocarina of Time, right? The tower begins to collapse, the mirror world begins to collapse, and they have to escape to it to get back to town. And then the real conclusion of the story happens. The real horror of it, that these people are actually gone forever. Not just their being, their soul, but any recollection of them wiped from the universe. That's the horror here. Cool. So we still need to work a little bit on our second act. Because what needs to happen is we need to have the players have some way to influence what is going on. And we need to have some way for them to figure out to go into the mirror. So this dude, this Van Helsing dude, he's going to be a nice little... He's going to be a tool, right? He's going to give off the exposition. He's going to tell them that he has heard tales of things. So maybe the library and the city hall are two separate places. Maybe the city hall catches on fire because reasons. Okay. So maybe we can work on something else. So we know that two of these people are the Holy Duo. But there's going to be like 4 people playing the adventure. So 2 of the other folks need ties into the town. Okay. Okay. So one of them... So one of them is looking for his mom. So they find their mom. And here's the catch here. But their dad. You know what? Nope. They find their mom, right? But their little sister has been eaten already. Consumed. Right? So he'll find little kids' toys. Find small dresses. No one knows why they're there, right? So they're not going to know why they're there. They're not going to know anything about having a daughter or a little girl. The mom's still not going to do anything, and she's going to deny having like a secret kid, right? So that'd be kind of weird. But of course, there's also a mirror in the room. Okay, and that's going to leave one other person that needs to have some sort of tie into this town. Okay. So what would another tie-in possibly be? Let me open this up a little bit. Why would someone else need to go? Why would someone else be in this town? Who else could someone have that would go missing? They're looking for the leader of a temple. There we go, classic. Missing. Everyone says there has been no priest for years. Gets upset. So everyone in the town, everyone in the town will get upset and tell contradictory stories about who got married, about by whom they were married. Did funerals, etc. All right. This person's going to be a vicar. Why we're calling them a vicar? Because that's a very, Church of England name. It's very, again, this Victorian horror theme we're going for. Hall of Records has the true answer. Okay. But the temple is in pristine condition. But the temple is in pristine condition. Again, there's going to be a golden mirror. Mirror in the old vicar's bedroom. Has beer still in stein. Has fruit unrotten, meaning just a few days old. Okay. Cool. So now we have lots of things for people to investigate, right? Two people are confused. They find... So I don't want them to start in their room. So The backpack, they're going to find out later on, right? That's going to be like a big reveal, right? After they're known for the whole duo for a while, backpack has parchment in it. They're going to find this in the room. At end of day. Or I don't want them to find this one right away, right? This is going to be the last thing that they find, right? Or I want them to try to find this one last. So I think this is going to be the creepiest reveal, right? That one of their members is missing. Okay. But we have all this other stuff now. And then when something really unexpected happens. So, okay, we have two people with two different missions. They wanted to go look for their mom. They could find this weird house with all these weird clothes in it. Their vicar, they're going to go to this temple. So one of them's looking to take over this temple, and they find this vicar's like, what's going on there? Two other people are hearing evidence of presence of strangers around, but no one ever sees anything. Or people finding weird stuff, telling contradictory stories. And then when they investigate those things, eventually they find a fire at the Hall of Records. Cool. Okay, and so at some point, right before they meet this guy, or right after they meet him, the Van Helsing guy, the shadows from the mirror need to attack them, right? Okay, cool. And this was when I get to kick everything off. Either right after they meet this professor guy, or right after the fire, or sometime when they're investigating something. If they're not really making any progress, here's something I can throw in to get things all speeded up, right? So either after these shadows attack, Van Helsing finds them. Maybe they're investigating the fire, and then Van Helsing finds them. Maybe they're getting stuck going in circles, investigating 3 places, and these shadows from the mirror attack. And so that will get them back on track. Cool. All right. Awesome. Yeah, let's zoom out real fast here and see this all in one shot. Okay. So they're going to arrive in town, so let's wake up in the town, hearing strange reports. They had to be staying there overnight. Or, no, they weren't staying there overnight. At the end of the day, when they go and unpack their backpack, they're going to find this. It doesn't have to be in their tavern room. Okay. But if they do have a tavern room, they can find like boots that match the boots of the person in the doodle. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so they're gonna start in the tavern, trying to investigate these 2 things, right? And then they know that they have other things to do. One of them is looking for their mom, and one of them is looking for the vicar. So let's get this out of bullet points to make this one a little bit. No, unbullet. So I don't lose my point there. Okay. The other dude is looking for the vicar. Okay. Cool. So they're going to be investigating these 2 things. Looking for their mom and finding all this strange stuff happening. Looking at the vicar and finding all this strange stuff happening at the temple. And then sometime there was going to be a fire. After one or both of those investigations, there's going to be a fire that is breaking out. Hey, I can't pull that. It's weird. So at the fire, it's going to be at the City Hall / Hall of Records. And someone who looks like Dr. Watson set the fire because he was going crazy. He kept finding things in the office there that shouldn't be there. It was very strange because this place has a huge hall of mirrors. So this monster kept popping out of these halls of mirrors, eating all these people who worked in the city hall. And this one guy just kept going crazy because he kept finding all this weird stuff all around the office, but he never saw anybody there. So eventually just burned the place down, convinced it was haunted. But they can investigate the records at the lower level and maybe answer some of these questions like, oh my gosh, this record says that you do have a little sister. Oh my gosh, this record says that this one person married all these people, not all these other guys that the people said. I will fill in the names as I go in real life. Okay. And then, either, depending on how my mood right there, Van Helsing is going to show up and help them investigate and say, I think I know what's going to happen. Or shadows are going to attack from here. Maybe if they retrace their steps somewhere, they will find these shadows attacking, and then Van Helsing sets up. But Helsing's going to say they have to go into the mirror. He knows the spell. He knows the way to help them do it. Or if they're brave, they just walk up to the mirror and push enough, and then it'll just break and they can fall right in. And then on the far side of the mirror, they find the mob of commoners that they fight, the baker, the little girl, all sorts of really crazy stuff. People got sucked into the tavern one by one. When these are bloody, they plop back into a little ooze monster. Number of encounters for just 4 hours of playtime. I like to do 5 encounters, right? I need, at least in my opinion, I need at least 2 combats, right? Or else it's not really playing D&D. You're doing something else that's kind of similar to D&D. And so a lot of these are just RP encounters, right? This investigation is probably going to take an hour and a half. You know what? There should maybe be a 3rd combat encounter. Sometime in early Act 1, I might put wolves in there or something weird. Just to get everyone familiar with what's going on. Maybe at the very, very start. When they're going into town. I don't know. RP encounters can take a lot less time than you think, or a lot more time. So that's where you have a lot of flexibility here. And these 2 combat encounters, this mob encounter will probably take 15 minutes, maybe. And this boss fight at the end will probably take like 40 minutes, I would say. So between Act 3 is probably going to take 1 hour to get all the way through. And then you do the skills challenge, which happens really fast, maybe 10 minutes to get through that. And the end only takes like 2 minutes. So I would say Act 3, this is probably a good hour of play. Fighting the mob of commoners. Walking through there. And fighting the boss monster. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes. If I do some of these other filler encounters. The town. Act 1's going to take not very long at all. Like, if I did this little encounter at the very, very start, I need to think about that, whether or not I want to start with a combat encounter, right? Like, these people have never played before. And so, something that I like to do is have, like, maybe them in the 2 different groups, like the holy duo, these 2. They come across these other 2 people being surrounded by a pack of wolves or something. That way everyone is starting playing right away. Like, fog is rolling in over the night, and all of a sudden you hear this howling off in the hillside. So these 2 people find themselves surrounded by a pack of wolves, and the holy duo of these other 2 people have to come in and rescue them. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I am going to do that. Because then I can have 2 groups of people, and they each have secret information, telling them not to necessarily trust the other group. Okay, then they go to the town. Yeah. And then so finding this first bit right here, catching up the local gossip in the tavern, this whole thing is 15 minutes, right? That's not very long. So this plus this This I said like maybe an hour and 15 minutes. This is an hour and a half. That leaves 2.5 hours for Act 2. That's plenty of time to do some RP encounters and then one minor combat encounter with the shadows. Awesome. Whew. Okay, cool. I think this is going to work. So something that I am going to do in this one is I'm going to make these dread shadows. Now, what is a dread shadow, you may ask? Well, I just released the playtest packet, or sort of like a teaser playtest packet for Galdur's Gazetteer. One of the monster templates that's in there is a dread monster. You can put it on top of undead to make them a special type of undead that can inflict the doomed and despondent conditions. And so I want to give those a good play test, so I'm going to put some dread shadows in this game. Yeah, awesome. I think I will take some time to stat some of this stuff up and make custom character sheets later, because I want to really set the tone. So so it's going to be, so I want them to be like sort of Victorian themes. I want to find some nice character art. And because these are new players, I'm going to make them custom character sheets. I have custom sheets that I make for new characters that are very simplified. I'll probably link some of those in this video description later on. But yeah, that's about it. Ooh. Okay. So, I'm pretty happy with this. I might polish this document up a little bit and then Publisher, I might just share it right now just to keep track. But I'm really excited. Like I said, the Halloween one-shot is probably one of my favorites that I do each year. And this is going to be a blast. We play by candlelight, and I'm going to have some new players. So thanks for watching this stream. Check out the Galdur's Gazetteer playtest packet and sign up for the Kickstarter, which is going to launch hopefully next week. All right.